Form 45 should be prepared as per the following instructions. Write down the name and number of the election constituency in the blank space provided on top. Then write down the name and number of the polling station. Enter the number of male, female and total voters allocated to the polling station. Serial number in column 1. Column 2 will have the names of all candidates as per ballot paper. In column 3, enter the number of valid votes taken out of ballot box in favor of each candidate. In column 4, enter valid tendered votes obtained by each candidate. In column 5, enter valid challenged votes obtained by each candidate. Add the figures in column 3, 4 and 5 and then enter in column 6 the total number of votes cast in favor of each candidate. After that, enter the total number of valid votes, that is, the sum of numbers entered in column 6 in section A. In section B, votes excluded from the count. First enter excluded votes taken out of the ballot box. Then enter the number of excluded tendered votes. And then the number of challenged votes excluded from the count. Now the sum of all entries in section B. Finally, add the figures in A and B and write the number in section C. In case of a joint polling station, make separate entries for votes cast by male and female voters. While in case of separate polling station, the figure entered in C will be written in D. In column 7, enter the name and party affiliation, if any, of polling agents and get their signatures. Presiding officer and senior assistant presiding officer will write their names, service designation and CNIC number. Finally, they will sign the form and affix their thumb impression. If needed, presiding officer will write their note and finally enter the place and date. Bear in mind that presiding officer will enter the time of the final compilation of result here and send Form 45 to the returning officer through the mobile app. Form 46 will be filled in as follows. Write down the name and number of the constituency in the space provided on top. Then write down the name and number of the polling station. In serial number 1, enter the number of ballot papers received from the RO before the start of polling like this. In serial number 2, enter the total number of valid and excluded votes taken out of the ballot box. In serial number 3, enter the total number of tendered ballot papers. In serial number 4, enter the total number of challenged ballot papers. In serial number 5, enter the total number of stray and cancelled ballot papers. While in serial number 6, enter the sum total of serial numbers 2, 3, 4 and 5. In serial number 7, enter the total number of unissued ballot papers like this. In serial number 8, enter the total number of ballot papers recorded in serial 6 and serial 7. The total number of ballot papers entered in serial number 1 should be equal to the figure given in serial number 8. After that, write the names of polling agents and observers if present and get their signatures. At the bottom of Form 46, presiding officer and senior assistant presiding officer will write down their names, service designation, place of posting and CNIC number. They will then sign the form, affix their thumb impression and finally they will enter the place and date.